This is a Pega RPA training session, and today we'll discuss about the Pega Robotic Studio items, like what we have in our Pega Robot Studio to make our automations ready. So as we discussed yesterday about the demo projects and um, the solution and the items which we have in the main menu and the toolbox, all those things. So today we'll go ahead and try to add few of the items from the solution. So whatever we have like automation files, global containers. So we'll discuss one by one on each and every item, and we'll go ahead with the process. So today, let me delete this one of the project because we don't need a extra one. So here we have already added the automation. Sorry guys, forgot to share the screen. Yeah, thanks for remembering. Right. So yesterday, like we have discussed about this items, right, related to the solution. Under the solution, we can add multiple projects, and the menu about the toolbox. We have discussed that, and about the start and stop, and the try catch blocks. So all those things we have discussed. That just the high level of the items which we have there in the Pega Robotic Studio. Today we'll discuss about the items which we are going to add as part of our automation flow, and what's the use of that items, and how we can use that. So I have deleted the one of the project which we have added yesterday as a demo project 2. So we'll go ahead with the demo project 1 because the demo project 2 is not required, and that will create unnecessary questions and unnecessary confusions. So I have deleted that, and I will also delete this automation file. You can directly click on the delete so that it will delete the file. Yeah. Now I will go ahead with one by one. So here, if you give a right click, so you will get the items like a build, rebuild, clean. So if you want to clean or rebuild individually for each and every project, you can do it from here. Clean and rebuild or build. So you can clean it. So if you clean like one particular project, so you can do it will clean that one selected project alone. So like that you can clean rebuild, and you can add project items here. So and also like you can add other items like which it is required for the automation flow. So here you have new items. Like if you click on a new items, you will get all the items which it is present in the Pega Robotic Studio. Apart from that, you can add existing items. Let's say you have one of the reusable file, which is like automation file. You have a reusable automation file, and also like you have a script which is a reusable. So some things will be having reusable in our coding industry, right? So that can be added as an existing item. So and also like if you have a user interface which is already developed in in other project, in other bot, so that you wanted to use few things from the UI user interface, so that also you can add as existing item, and you can make the changes as per your requirement. And you can create a folder just similar to the folder which we are going to create in our file explorer. If you click new folder, it will create a folder, and you can add existing folder also. Like let's say you have 5 items which is there present in the folder. So and that folder you don't want to add each and every item, you wanted to add the whole folder. So instead of adding each and every item, you can add entire folder itself, so that it will add whatever under present under the folder. It will add all those items into our project. So and also like you can add directly without clicking on a new item. You can add a new items like new automation directly from here. New Windows form, the recording you can do it from here, and Windows application, web application, universal web application. I will explain these items like Windows, what is Windows application, web application, and the universal web application. So this local process citrix, so this is a this local process and citrix is purely related to the live scenarios, which we can't do in our training sessions. So but we'll have the documents, and you have to go through the documents, but it is we can't do examples on those things. So we'll discuss one by one on the items. And also, here add reference, as I said in the previous demo session. Let's say you have a few of the projects under one solution. You wanted to use some automation files or some items from the other projects. So you can add reference from here. If you click on the add reference, you will get a project names here. So if there are more than one, you will get that project names here. Just selecting that project name and click OK, then you will get the references under this under this references tab. You will get the project name under that reference. So like that, you can add other projects into within the solution, other projects into our uh, main project or some other projects, so that you can utilize those project automation files or some other scriptings, some other let's say components, .NET components, or all those things you can use. So yesterday I have shown you that set as start a project, whatever the project you wanted to start it from initially. So you have to select that as a startup project. And debug. So we have already discussed about this. Like if you go ahead with the these things, like it will go step by step process. Like if you keep the breakpoint, otherwise it will go as a flow. If you kept as a breakpoint, then it will stop there, and from there you can go step by step. And these all things, like cut, remove, tilt, rename, unload project. So if you click on unload project, what it will do, it will show as you like this dummy project. It will not show as you like a actual project which you have. So whatever the items you have, it will not be visible here. So you have to reload the project. Sometimes you will get a error while adding as a existing project. So you have the add, right, existing folder or existing item. And also on under the project you can add exist project, add existing project. You can add as a existing project directly itself, the entire project you can add under the solution. So like that, sometimes you will get some errors while loading the project into the solution. So at that time, you have to reload that. Otherwise, like you will be seeing like this error message, like this plain. And here, imported items and project. You can import from some other solutions to these solutions and run actions. So you can make few of the automations and few of the projects to run or not to run. So these options will help you like this. So my screen is not visible, or it is blur, or it got stuck. Okay. So here, as I shown you yesterday, deploy project. So here we have shortcut key on the menu. Under that, like even though like we have here as a deploy project, so open folder in file explorer. If there is a file, if there is a project you wanted to open directly from here, so if you click here, it will open in the file explorer. So here directly you can zip or unzip, or you wanted to do any actions, like you can do it from here directly. So if you don't want to go and search where the project is, so you can directly open it from here. So on the properties of the project, so if you click on the properties, like you will get the properties of this project. So this all properties, like you will get the properties. So these are all things like just we will be using our permissions which you wanted to change on a regular basis. So that is one thing. And also like if you wanted to deploy the project, while deploying itself, it will automatically increase. But again, if you wanted to make any changes in the version, so you can make it from here in the deployment here. So, and these things are will be the same. We don't want to change anything here. We don't need to change anything here. So you can keep it as it is. So we'll go with the items to be added. So add, click on new item. So here you will get all the items. You can see Windows Form, automation, Windows application, web application, universal web application, global container, recording, so application bar, configuration and services. So these are the items which we have under our Pega Robot Studio. Okay, and here under this, like we'll be having categorization. So you can see it here. So text adapter, the multiple types of text adapter mainframe applications. So you can use it here. Like where there will be a one IBM application, there will be a other Blue Zone applications you will be have. So some different IBM applications will be available, and
We can't see
Blue
anything.
Zone applications. So
I
Praveen,
don't.
are you able to see, right?
No, we can't see anything. Since for the beginning, there's nobody. I mean, you can share. We don't see anything.
But Praveen is seeing like he is able to see the screen. He's Let me share it again. Is it visible now
No, it's
or
not.
not? I
I
think,
mean, I don't know about other people, but me, I can't see anything.
but Praveen is able to see. I think you were having some network issues or something.
No, I don't have any network issue. I'm not the one. I'm not the only one because somebody put on the group chat that somebody put on the chat that he can't see anything. Me, I'm on my side. I can't see anything either.
No, Praveen was saying he can able to see the screen. The screen is visible for him, but I don't know like why it is not visible to you. Praveen, are you able to see my screen, right?
I'm never. I'm
Yes.
not able to see anything.
Now you are closing the screen.
Yeah, now it is not visible. Now I have stopped the sharing.
Yeah,
But
before.
while I am sharing the screen, so it is visible for you.
Yeah, yeah, it is visible to me. Yeah, now it is visible.
So now it is visible, right? Yeah.
Yes.
So it's problem from your end or not? Like not from my end, like because Praveen is able to see my screen. I'm not sharing for the particular person, so it is not an option here. So it is going to be shared for everyone. So it might be an issue from your end.
Okay, I will drop. I come back again.
Can you yeah, do that thing like join back again. Once you join, okay, he left. Yeah, able to see, right, Praveen? I have reshare it
Yes,
again.
yes.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, we'll wait to join. We'll wait for Arnaud to join. Couple minutes. We'll continue, Praveen. Yeah. So the items like you can see a Windows form. Windows form is nothing but like a UI, user interface to the user, so that you can this is mostly using for mostly not like it is using for only for RDA projects. Like let's say a user want to click anything, like user want to add any details in the text boxes or some other rich text box or file needs to be uploaded, so something like that. So for RDA projects like RDA, I have said like attended bots. So for that, like you can be using this Windows form. So if you select and if you click on add, it will add it. So before that, like let's say let us change the name here. So you can mention demo underscore UI, so user interface. So if you click on add, it will try to add a user interface here. So this is a plain user interface. So you can add it any values, like let's say button, labels, text boxes, file explorer, open dialog box, or something like that. Like you can add it from here. So in the toolbox, you can see the items which you can able to see it here. So you can add all those items under this user interface design form. So here you can see these check boxes, combo boxes, buttons. So data grid views, data sets, date time pickers you can add. So we'll add few things and you people try from your end few things. So here also again we have a common controls which is categorized from the above. Check combo box, checkbox, buttons, pointers, labels, list boxes, list views. We can see it here, radio buttons, progress bar, everything. Like images also you can load it here from this user interface. So these all things, panels also like the panels will be available, right? So to display a few of the things like on the header, so you can add that panel also. So menus, if you want to add few menus like a few file edit like this, like you can add it here. So just similar to the UIs, like whatever you are going to see in the in the Windows form. in the applications, you can have few of the applications like similar to this. You can add whatever you wanted to the user. Like we'll not be using most of the things, whatever the necessary required automations for RDA projects, like complex projects. Like we'll going to add a, file open file dialogues and file date pickers and the menus and such will be going to add. But and also progress bars. So such type of things will be going to add. But for a few of the text box and radio buttons, drop downs or scalables like that. So here you can see a open file dialog, save file dialog. Like let's say like we'll have whenever we are trying to download the file from the browsers. Sometimes if you change the option in the settings of the browser, whenever you wanted to try to download, you have to select the path manually, right? If you change the option in the browser, so that like at the time you will get a save dialog box. So this is the one save dialog box and open dialog box whenever you wanted to try to open the file in the browser. So you will get a one pop-up. So the file explorer pop-up. This is the open file dialog. So font dialog. So different things you have. So interaction management. So case in the sense like the case going to be created or whatever or like for each and every trans. So like that, like few things you have table view, Excel connector, PDF viewer. So these things are not required. These things are not going to be used in our design form. So this also like ASO manager also is not going to be used because it's a component. It's not an item to be added in the user interface. So there are few things only which we can going to be added. So if you go ahead with the label, so label you can add it here. So just drag and drop. You don't have to do anything here. Just drag and drop, and in the label it will be showing as a label one. If you wanted to rename it, so you can rename from the properties. This is the configurations which we need to do. If you go to the properties, here you can see the name, right? So in the name you can change it here. So let's say username. So this is the name which you can see in the object user. There is a text. You can see it here, right? Appearance. Appearance is in the sense we are showing the message, showing the label to the user. And name is nothing but displaying this name, what this label is related to, displaying that to developer. So name is related to developer and text appearance is related to user who is going to be use this user interface. So the name in the name design. So in the name you have to maintain as a best practices like what it is related to. Let's say you have a label or you have a text box, you have a combo box. There will be having some prefixes. That is a prefix you have to mention for the in the design form like here. So that for the developer he can identify this is the label, this is the text box. So for that purpose we have to maintain our best practices here. For the label you are going to maintain as a LBL. So you can see here.
Hello.
Yeah. So in the text box, you can rename here. Like we don't have text boxes like to be displayed to the user any text in the middle in the text box. If you want to display anything like let's say um, let's say something you wanted to show to the user like type here, so you can see it here, and here you can mention as a text box. For text box prefix as a txt, so txt and username. So this is the name which is going to be displayed to the developer, and this is the name which is going to be displayed to the user, right? So even you can play it here. Let's say like you wanted to maintain some coloring for username and for a text box also. You can make it here. We'll discuss further these things, and now we'll go ahead with the other item which is going to be added under our solution. So here automation. So we'll go ahead one by one this, then we'll go ahead and we'll use the items whatever we have in this solution. So automation file. So this automation 1.os, so you can rename it here. So this automation is useful for to make the flows. So to design the flows of the process. So the flow whatever you are going to be designing, right? So that flows is going to be developed in this automation file. Just a drag and drop, and you are going to maintain the flow, and that flow going to be executed in under the executing going executing in the project. So the whatever the design you are going to be make, that can be developed in the automation file. So just you can add it here. So by renaming, and the name of the automation file should be a I mean that has to be give a justification the name. Let's say if you are using that automation file for login, you can mention AUTX. AUTX is our prefix, just similar to our automation. I mean, for the elements we have added, right? Components in the UI, just similar to that. For automation file also, we have AUTX as a prefix. So after AUTX, it has to be mentioned that what it is, the automation what it is. Like let's say it's a process automation, like you are creating a process, or otherwise it's a activity based automation, or it is a event based automation, or let's say it is a wrapper automation, wrapper procedure automation, which means you are including all the procedure automations under one automation, that is called as a wrapper procedure automation. So you have to mention that as a that in the automation also. Let's say you have AUTX as a prefix underscore, and if it is a activity based automation, so you have to mention AE, or else EA also is enough. Okay. And if it is a procedure based automation, you have to mention as a P underscore login. Okay. So if it is a no, if it is not a procedure based automation, and if it's a event based automation, you have to mention as a E. And if it is a wrapper procedure, WP. So and then name in the sense like what you are doing in the automation. Let's say login, or else like fetching a data from the one of the form. So that has to be mentioned here. So as of now, I will maintain this as a event automation. And why? Because we have added a UI, so we are going to be used this automation for user interface. So further we'll add more automations based on the our process. So I will be adding as a event automation here. So main automation. So I will maintain this event automation as a main automation, because from here I will be going to start the process. So if I click add, so it will be adding the automation. See, you can see in the solution explorer. automation, AUTX as a prefix, event automation and main automation. And we'll go ahead with the other item. So Windows application. Windows application, let's say if you have installed few of the applications. See, we have installed our Pega Robotic Studio yesterday, so which is called a Windows application. And just similar to that, we have some other applications also, whatever we have installed. Let's say calculator. So this is also a Windows application which is being installed by us. So like that, whatever we have installed in as a application in our machine, so that we'll call it as a Windows application. And that Windows application which needs to be interrogated, for that purpose, like we have to add our Windows application item, because this has to be, the Pega Robotic Studio has to be interact with that application. Then only we can able to interrogate that elements, whatever the elements we have as per the requirement. So that elements, if you wanted to interrogate, so for that reason you have to use this Windows application, and we'll call it as a as per our technology term, so we call it as a adapter, Windows adapter. So here you have to maintain this name also, like which application you are going to add. So let's say if you are adding calculator, so you have to mention that's calculator name. The application name has to be here. So you can click directly add, so that it will add our Windows application calculator. And we'll go ahead with the other item, web application. So in current days, in nowadays, like no one is using web application, because web application is purely interlinked with the Internet Explorer. So Internet Explorer is completely changed into Microsoft Edge. So in all the organizations, earlier it was having a Internet Explorer as a default browser, and nowadays, like everyone has been migrated to Microsoft Edge, right? So that's the reason, so no one is using web applications. This is a I mean, web application in the sense Internet Explorer is not using by the clients. So everyone has been migrated to Microsoft Edge. So for that purpose, like we are not using this web application. In the older days, like let's say in the 2022 or 2021, so few of the clients are using still Internet Explorer. So at the time, like web applications are the key role, is playing a key role. So in that scenarios only they have used the web applications, even though in nowadays they have been migrated to web applications which is using in the Internet Explorer to Edge, which is going to be used now as a universal web application. So web application is only specifically for Internet Explorer. And coming to the universal web application, this universal web application can be used under four browsers. So one is a Google Chrome, another one is a Edge, another one is a Firefox, another one is a Electron. So we can use these four browsers in the universal web adapter. So here we are using four browsers, right? That's the reason we call it as a universal web application. So in this universal web application, for even though if it is a web application or it's a universal web application, if you are using a Internet Explorer, if you are going to use a Chrome or Edge or Electron or Firefox, you have to maintain URL. So whatever the URL we are going to pass it here, right? So that URL has to be added into our adapter, into our application item. So let's say I'm going to add it here, Flipkart. So I will be adding Flipkart. This is a universal web adapter. So just click on add. So you have been got this right in the Solution Explorer. You can see it. Flipkart universal web adapter has been added. And here, if to interact with the Flipkart application, you have to add a URL into our Pega Robotic Studio. So this is not only for Flipkart. So even if you are using Amazon, you have to add your URL. So this is why this is just to be interact with the application from our Pega Robotic Studio to get those elements to be automated. So here you can see Flipkart. You have to select that in the Object Explorer, not in the Solution Explorer. To open the items, to open the automation files, to open the adapters, you have to double click on the Solution Explorer so that you can open it, you can see it in Object Explorer. So in the Object Explorer, you have to select this and you have to go to the properties. Here you can change into advanced. So in the advanced, so you can see few of the properties which can be used by the developer, and few of the properties will be remains same. There is no use of that, so you can maintain as default as it is. And if you want to make few changes which is related to our application, I will show you like what all the properties you can make the changes here. So here the name of the application, the name of the adapter which you have added, and you can skip this because it is already been renamed. If you want to rename it again, you can rename it from here. And the browser type, which browser are you going to use, like a Chrome or Edge or Firefox or Electron. So four browsers you can see it here. So and moreover, so few of the clients will be migrating from IE to Edge or Chrome, right? And few of the clients also migrating from Edge to Chrome or Chrome to Edge, right? So in that scenarios, you don't have to rework on the elements to be interrogated. You can directly switch the browser name here, and directly you can check whatever the elements you have been interrogated in the previous version so that it is matching or not. You don't need to do anything, like just minimal things you have to make the changes, like match rules, which it is matching or not. You have to just cross check the elements which you have interrogated. Instead of that, like, you don't have to do anything. But coming to web application, to universal web application, you have to rework on each and every element. You have to reinterrogate the application because it's completely a two different type of adapters. So you have to rework on the each and every element, each and every adapter, I mean, interrogation you have to do, and each and every match rule you have to check, everything you have to rework. If it is migrating from universal web adapter, I mean, web application to universal web application. If it is within the universal web application, you are going to change the browsers, just migrating from Chrome to Edge, Chrome to Firefox, Chrome to Electron, or Electron to Firefox. So you don't have to make any changes. Just you have to make the change in the browser type, and just you have to cross check whether it is perfectly matching or not. That's it. So that is for browser type, and that's the thing. You have to check one more time whether you are using Chrome or Edge. Based on the requirement, you can make a change here, and start on project start. Whenever you are going to make the change, this has to be make it into false, because so most of the times we have to make this as a false. Why? Because once you click on use launch the project, like you launched your application, it will start the application. Like, let's say it will start the Flipkart application. It is this is not a best practice. Why? Because uh, sometimes the application will be launched in the middle of the process. Let's say in the starting itself, you don't have to launch the application. In the starting, you have to work with Excel or Outlook or Word or some other application. So after that, you wanted to go with the actual application which you needed for the process. So in that scenarios, only you have to make this start on project start as a false. If you launch the application initially itself, it's a it's not a best practice, because it is already been launched, and it will take some uh, memory from your system, and the process will get slow, and unnecessarily it will be opening the application again. Whenever you try, you have added some methods in in your project. Let's say the adapter start. So for the best practices, you have to maintain the start on project start as a false. This is one of the property you have to make the change. And here a browser start method. So you will get two types of start methods. One is a start and one is a monitor all. So the difference between this browser start method, if you keep the start, what it will do, it will directly, I mean, whenever it launch the application, it will automatically activate. You don't have to launch the application. It will you have, if you have added in your solution that adapter has to, that application has to be start, then it will directly start the application and it will start working on that. If you select the monitor on, what it will do, if it is launching the any application from other source, like from other applications, through this application, let's say you have a application and B application. A application you have launched. From A application, you are going to launch B application. In that scenario, if you use monitor all, what it will do, the adapter, whatever the property you have selected, the browser start method property as a monitor all, it will keep on monitoring the application when it is going to be launched. Once it is launched, it will activate their elements and it will start processing work on start processing on the requirement. So here the difference between the start and monitor, start will start the application. It will start the application whenever the browser started. And monitor all, it will keep on monitoring the application. Whenever it is started, it will activate the elements. So this is the difference. So this will be asking in the interview questions. What is the difference between a start and monitor all in the browser start method? So this needs to be taken care, like, and this also, like, you have to change based on your requirement. So if the application is launched in the middle of the process, it is launching from one application, from the A application, the B application is launching from A, then you have to select as a monitor all, because you are not launching the application from your solution, because it is launching from the other application. So you have to select as a monitor all here. And the start page, this is the main thing you have to look into. So the URL which you are going to be automate, so that property, the start page, the URL has to be mentioned here. So if let's say you have a Flipkart, right? We have given flipkart.com. So the URL, this URL has to be copied and the same has to be pasted here. So flipkart.com. And this is the one, just as it is, you have to maintain. So you don't have to make any changes here. Just copy and paste the URL. And the start timeout, this has to be changed. Why? Because let's say the Flipkart application will be launching within a seconds of time, but few of the application from the client side, it will take some few minutes also. Let's say 3 minutes, it will take 5 minutes. Based on my experience, I'm saying it will take 5 minutes also to launch the application. Some of the application will take within 10 seconds. Some of the applications, it will take 1 minute. So you have 20 seconds. It's not a second, I mean, it's a milliseconds. 20,000 milliseconds. Let's say 20,000 milliseconds, in the sense each second is equal to, I mean, 60 milliseconds, right? So this has to be changed. If it is a 20,000 milliseconds is equal to uh, just 2 seconds. Okay, no, sorry, 20 seconds. It's a 20 seconds. So it will take time to launch the application. If it is failed to launch within the 20 seconds, it will be failing. It will be going to the failed scenario. So that's the reason you have to maintain some larger amount of time. Let's say if the application is going to launch in a 2 minutes, then based on that you have to maintain it here. So you can maintain a 1 lakh milliseconds, which means 100 seconds. So 100 seconds is equal to 1.5 minute. So this is a larger time you have to maintain here. Okay, and this can be maintained as it is. You don't have to change it anything here. So within this time, the application has to be launched. You have to analyze that how much time your application is taking, and that time you have to be mentioned here. Okay, so this is a web application, universal web application. We'll go ahead with the other item. So global container. So this global container is nothing but the components whichever you have added into your project that has to be used within the project overall, like in all the automation files. So let's say you have added one variable under one automation. Okay, you can use that variable within that automation file itself. You can't use that variable in the other automation file. So for that purpose only, the Pega introduced global container. That variable can be added under global container, and you can be use that variable into all the automations within the project. Okay, not within the solution, within the project. So as I said, if you have multiple projects, you can't use the global container variable in the other projects. Let's say you have demo project 1 and demo project 2. You have added a global container under demo project 1, and that variable is related to demo project 1. You can't use that demo project 1 global container variable into demo project 2. Why? Because it is purely interlinked with the demo project 1. For that purpose only, we can't use that variable in the another project. So as I said, within the project only you can use that variable if you add under global container. If you add in the automation file itself, you can't use that in the another automation file within the project. I know this is some confusion in this explanation, because I'm saying project solution and within the project or within the solution, so all those things can be confused. Once you're going to be start using this items, you will get a clear picture on that. So here also, like, you have to maintain your naming convention. So let's say it's a demo one, so underscore, and you have to mention what it is. GC is nothing but a global container. So you have to click on add. So as I said, it's a global container. You have to add the items whatever it is required for your project. So let's say one variable you have to add. It's a string variable you have to add, and that to be used in the other, within the project in different automation files. So you can see variable, so string. So just drag and drop it. You will get a string variable here, and just rename it if you want based on your usage. And the prefix has to be maintained. The prefix is string, for string is str, and the and what it is, like, let's say the str is using for the username, you have to maintain that as a str username. So like this you can rename, and you have to save this, and you can see it here, the str username has been renamed. And this variable you can use in the automation files. So I have opened the automation file, go to the Object Explorer, and here in the global container, under that you can see str username variable. So here you can see your properties, event methods, events, and properties. And if you wanted, if you're not seeing whatever you required, you can add it from here, the configuration type. If you click on this, you will get the all the methods, all the properties, and all the events, whatever you wanted to add. See, you can see it here, everything. If you wanted all the things, just check it here. It will select all these things, and it will, you can click on OK. So if you want to add specifically, so let's say ends with or contains or append, you can select it here and click it OK. And also, if you know the particular thing, let's say append, so you can search it from here. You can filter it. You will get that one method alone, and you can select it and click on OK. Like this, you can add extra items, whatever you required. So if you click OK, it will add all the values. So you can see. So like that, this global container can be used. So by using components from the toolbox. So all the components you can see it here. So those components can be added. So even Excel also, if you wanted to use globally within the project, so you have to add that under global container. So you can see all those things can be added. And also, as I said, advanced, if you go to advanced, so wait any, you can't add this. And you have a script, right? As we discussed earlier, script, if you want to add and that method to be added, used in other automations. So you have to add. Whenever you are going to use a script, you wanted to use a script, you have to add that in the global container so that it will be reusable for the all the automations wherever you required. So you have to add, you can add a script here and all the things like whatever it is required based on the requirement. So string utils, sorry, string utils. So in the string utils, you can see different things, concat, split, replace. So all those things can be visible. If it is not showing here, so you can see it and you can add whatever it is required for you. Concat, contains, ends with, so like that. So if you click OK, you can see items here. So like this, you have to use this demo, I mean global container. And let's go ahead with another project item. Recording. So recording, we are not using this because recording is not stable, and also like it will be not using for the projects to record. Just but in the other applications, let's say in other RPA tools, RPA modules, UiPath and automation anywhere, we can use recording, but it's not an accurate one because again, if we interrogate again, we have to make the changes in the uh, selectors and match rules. Why? Because it will not be identified uniquely. Sometimes it will, sometimes it will not. So this is not an accurate one. So we have to make the changes again to make that element as a uniquely identified. So this is not going to be used. And application bar also we are not going to be used. And configuration and service. Configuration is like um, the variable which you are going to be assigned, and the value is three different values. Let's say you have a three different environments, which is a um, development environment, testing environment, and production environment, right? So for those three environments, you have three different URLs to be launched. So in that scenario, we'll be going to use a configuration, and in that configuration, you are going to use three different URLs, and that three different URLs is going to be assigned one for one single variable. Why? Because uh, if we have three different URLs and three different variables, that needs to be configured. That needs to be differentiated by using some other logics. If we use configuration, you can differentiate those three URLs in the configuration file, and those three URLs can be used within one single variable. So that's the purpose, like we will be going to use a configuration, and also you can maintain which is a static one. The static things, right? The static values will be having, um, let's say some path, let's say some file names. So something like that you can maintain it here. And even though we have a few different approaches for maintaining a static values, here one this is one of the approach, And another one is a Excel you can maintain to read the static values for the project or solution. And also from Pega, directly from Pega, you can store the variables there and you can get the static values from there. And also we have SQL. So in that table, you can create a table configuration table, and there you can maintain headers and values, static values you can maintain, and from there you can fetch the data and you can process. You can use that data as a static values. So for static values, we'll be using a configuration. So for configurations, we have different multiple approaches. So based on the client's requirement and based on our architecture suggestions, like we'll be using our configurations part. Few of the clients will be using Excel still. Few of the clients are using SQL. Few of the clients are using this configuration file, and few of the clients are using XML also. So if you use config, so just config you have to maintain. So it will add the config here. So here you can add like let's say you have a demo and it's global container and you have this thing variable, and go to the properties, and here in the properties you have to right click, and in the right click you have to click on the configure, and here you can change, let's say username, mm, so demo Pega RPA. See the value. This is a static value which I'm adding to this config file. Okay. If you click OK, so you can see the value here, demo underscore Pega RPA. So this is the static value. So whenever I will pass this, I will use this variable. It will read the value from here and it will pass the data to me in the application. So for that, like to store the config values, I mean the static values, we are going to use the config file. And another new item, service. So this one is not going to be used in our training sessions, because this is the live scenario config, I mean item, which is going to be used for call services. So let's say you have a application which you don't want to interrogate, just you wanted to get few things from the application, that by using the URL. So service call. So by using the URL, so you will get the input parameters from that application. Just provide the URL and get the values. That's it. So for that purpose only, we are going to be used a service for service item. So to call the values or to download the files, even though like by using a service call, API call and REST or SOAP, so you can use URLs and you can get the data, you can get the files from there, you can download it from there. So all those things you can do it. So for that purpose, we are going to use this service. Yeah, tomorrow like we'll start with the flow to be designed in the automation file. We'll use our Windows form and also the variables, and we'll go ahead with the Flipkart application to be interrogated in our Pega RPA. So tomorrow we'll discuss about the things, whatever we have added it here. Any questions?
No, yes. Actually, you have to check that all the things
Sorry.
work. And I have doubts.
Sorry?
Hello. No, no. Once again, I listen the recording again, and I have doubts.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Go ahead with the recording.
What are
And also,
yeah.
like, I have already shared the installation file. You will
Okay.
try to if parallelly, like, go ahead with the recording and also install the application and
Okay.
try to add items, and so that you will get a clear picture on that. right?
Okay.
So
Yeah.
I have already shared the installation file.
Okay.
Anytime, like team will share you the setup file with you.
Okay. Okay.